Hello and good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's Career Discovery presentation on applying for scholarships with Bank of North Dakota. I am Stacy Holzheimer, University and Student Development Coordinator at Bank of North Dakota and North Dakota Dollars for Scholars State Director. I will be leading you through today's webinar. During this session, attendees will learn tips on where to find scholarships and about the benefits of creating a Dollars for Scholars student profile and creating that profile early, updating it often, and applying for scholarships through a student's entire college career. I will also be walking you through how to create and update your Dollars for Scholars profile. Some housekeeping items. In the menu of the screen, you will see there is both a chat and a Q&A function that we encourage all of you to use for the questions or comments that you have about today's live. We will answer questions at the end of the live, but please feel free to put the questions and answers or put them in the Q&A when you have them. So without further ado, let's get started. So there are many ways to find scholarship information. One of the biggest questions that we get asked is, where can I find scholarships? The first thing that we'll always say is, remember, you don't have to pay money to apply for scholarships. So if an organization or a scholarship that you found online is asking you to pay, would highly advise against having to do that. You should not ever have to pay to apply for scholarships. So first and foremost, put in the effort. It really takes time, effort, and often creativity to find and apply for scholarships. Private scholarships are often based on different criteria such as grades, age, gender, race, major interests, different memberships in clubs. There are unusual scholarships for almost everything that you can imagine. So looking for and applying for scholarships should really be an ongoing process. And some things to keep in mind are to begin searching early. You don't have to wait necessarily till your senior year of high school to apply for scholarships. There are some opportunities to start applying earlier than that. And there are also opportunities to apply for scholarships as you are in college as well. Apply for as many scholarships as possible. Use the internet, prepare a portfolio. So once you apply for one scholarship, make sure that you save any essays that you wrote, because a lot of times you can tweak those essays and use them for future scholarships as well. And make essays personal, concise, and clear. And really, if you're submitting a resume with a scholarship essay, limit that to 1 page. Different places where you can look for scholarship opportunities are going to be some local businesses and organizations. Colleges and universities often have scholarships available as well. Religious organizations, fraternal organizations, a lot of times employers have scholarship opportunities available. I know there is a few different opportunities, even through North Dakota Dollars for Scholars, where scholarships are available for specific employers. Dependents and whatnot. So always take a look there. Tribal agencies, state agencies, large corporations, do just a quick internet search for different scholarship opportunities as well. Of course, North Dakota Dollars for Scholars, and if you have a local Dollars for Scholars chapter as well, that's going to be a great opportunity to look for additional scholarships, and those usually open up sometime in the spring. You can go take a peek at fastweb.com, finaid.org, or also the U.S. Department of Labor has scholarship opportunities out there. You would go to www.careeronestop.org/toolkit, and then you would click on the scholarship finder under training. So that is just a handful of places where you can take a peek or where you can start looking for specific scholarships. Now, I'm going to share with you, we do have our Bank of North Dakota College Handbook, which I'm going to open up here quickly for you and show you where in that handbook you can take a look at scholarship options available that we've actually vetted. So if you go out to the handbook, it's just, you can find it right on Bank of North Dakota's website. I've just got the link right here, collegehandbook.bnd.nd.gov. and click on scholarships and grants. There's some wonderful information out here which will lead you to different ways to apply for scholarships, what you need to know about them and whatnot. Also down here, what I want to show you is specific scholarships in North Dakota that we have found and that people have sent or organizations have sent to us, and these are legitimate scholarships and opportunities for individuals to apply for. So we've got North Dakota grants and scholarships, and then we've also got North Dakota college specific scholarships, South Dakota college specific scholarships, Minnesota college specific scholarships as well. So if you're going to be going to school in any one of those states, these are specific scholarship opportunities through there as well. Next, let's take a peek. Let me get back over to my slide here. Let's take a peek at North Dakota Dollars for Scholars. So if you are, if you've applied for scholarships before through North Dakota Dollars for Scholars, you know that we are currently in our application period right now. Scholarships are open January 1st to April 1st every year. So we've got just less than a month left for applying for scholarships through North Dakota Dollars for Scholars. This is the North Dakota Dollars for Scholars website and where you would apply for scholarships there. You just click on students and parents, click here to log in, and then you would go ahead and log in for scholarship opportunities right there. I'm gonna back up, we'll come right back to this, but I also wanna show you one other resource for you that BND has for looking at for scholarship opportunities as well. These aren't specific scholarship opportunities, but it's a great way to, if you're getting ready to prepare to write scholarships or apply for scholarships, you can go out to our YouTube page or our YouTube channel, click on playlists, and then there are a ton of information regarding all different things planning and paying for college. But there is a specific scholarships playlist here. So if you click view full playlist, there are 9 different videos in here that'll help you with your scholarship search and prepping for applying for scholarships and whatnot. So this is going to be a wealth of knowledge for you as well. I wanted to just point that out before we go on and talk specifically about North Dakota Dollars for Scholars. So we're going to get a little bit more in depth regarding the scholarship process with North Dakota Dollars for Scholars and what that piece looks like. When you create a student profile, you will have that student profile throughout your entire time as a student. So you don't have to recreate it every single time. You will want to log in each year and update it. So we are going to go out to that back out to that Dollars for Scholars website and we'll get logged in here. Let's see. Oh, okay. We will get logged in. I'm going to actually log into I've got a test student out here. So I'm going to log in as I am a student. So you'll go to any Dollars for Scholars affiliate or chapter. We're going to specifically log in North Dakota Dollars for Scholars today. Now, it doesn't matter if you log in North Dakota Dollars for Scholars or if you do have a local chapter, how you answer your questions, you'll be matched to any specific scholarship that you qualify for. So whether it's a state scholarship or a local scholarship. So we will click to log in. And then here we are going to put in our email address and then our password as well. So once you've logged in, well, hold on, before I go ahead and click login, if you do not have a profile yet, you'll want to click don't have an account, create one here. Once you have done that, you will select the high school that you graduated from or will be graduating from. And the easiest way to do this is to enter your city and state, especially if you're from a larger community or go to a high school with a common name. If you're updating your profile, you will be prompted to update certain fields, but it's always a good practice to go through the rest of the profile to see if everything else is still accurate, especially if you have changed schools or majors or anything else that may impact your scholarship eligibility. So we are going to just log in. So for those of you that have already created scholarship profiles, you'll just click log in right here. And then you will see this is your dashboard, your main page. So once you log into your account, you're going to see that there's 4 different quadrants. You've got your My Information. This is how much of your profile is complete. You should have close to 100% complete to match to all scholarships, but you may apply to scholarships with less than 100% complete. You can see here I've got 87% of the profile completed. You've also got the My Opportunities section. This will have any announcements from any chapters that you matched to. And then also the My Scholarships section. This is going to be where you search for scholarships. And just a reminder, you'll match to the scholarships based on what you complete in your student profile. And then you've got the My Scholarship News over here. This is any other scholarship news that's specifically out there for in relation to any scholarship opportunities through Dollars for Scholars or for Scholarship America, who is a parent organization of Dollars for Scholars. And then there is a resource tab that has been added down here for information and additional resources from Scholarship America. But these 4 quadrants up here are going to be the ones that you are going to be in the majority of the time. So when you are completing your student profile, what you'll want to do, so if you are a returning student and you've already got a profile, or if you're a brand new student just creating your profile, you'll click on Work on Profile, and then you will just go through each of these individually here. Excuse me. So you will update each of this information. So you'll see here you've got basic information. If your email address has been changed, you're updated, make sure that you get that updated, because this is what you'll utilize for your logging in the entire time you are in college, and you've got different scholarship opportunities. So you'll be able to apply for scholarships each year that you're in college. Highly recommend not using a high school email address. Use an email address that will follow you through as you go through college. All right, so any double-starred items must be completed before moving on to the next section, and single-star items will count toward 100% profile completion. You'll want to make sure that you're thorough and accurate, and remember, if you need to stop or take a break, you can always, there's this button down here, you can click and save and continue, or save and go to dashboard and then come back and fill the rest of the profile out. So you don't have to do it all in one shot. So you'll want to make sure this is updated every year. And then also there's additional information here. This additional information is important to make sure that you've got all the specific double stars completed right here. So you'll see here, like there's just 1 star. These you don't have to complete, but it's recommended that you do. So just make sure that you check on every page and complete these double stars. Now I'm going to click, I'm not going to go through every single one of these just for respect of everyone's time, because it is something that you can go through. You can log in and it walks you through. It's very sequential. It walks you through everything you need to do. But here, this is something I want to point out, the schools and the GPA specifically. The grade level, you'll want to always make sure that you're updating this every year. So in this test student, I'm a 3rd year post-high school student currently. So that means that I am a junior in college. If this is my sophomore year in college or senior year in college or whatnot, you want to make sure that you put that information in there. Especially when you're transitioning. If you were a senior last year and this year you're a freshman in college, you want to make sure that you switch that from senior in high school to 1st year post-secondary high school student. All right, and then make sure you've got all of your high school information in here, and then the college information, your college that you have are intending to go to as well, or that you're currently at. This is very important because if you receive a scholarship, then we need to make sure that we send that scholarship to the correct institution. It's also important because there are some scholarships through the state through North Dakota Dollars for Scholars, through the state Dollars for Scholars chapter, that are specific to certain schools and specific to certain majors as well. So it's very important that this information is updated and accurate, especially if you're currently in college and you've switched majors. Make sure to always get this updated so it's updated, and any specific scholarships that you should match to you will be matched to. Okay, so the next thing that I want to go through is the GPA. So if you're in high school, you'll select the high school information only and input your high school GPA and scale. So like if you've got a 3.7 on a scale of 4.0, for example. If you have any questions, you can click on the little blue question mark for more clarification as you're going through them. So let me see here, like right here, blue question mark right here. Okay, so if you are in college, you'll want to make sure that you select I have high school and college GPA information. You'll just go edit like this right here, and then that's where you're able to edit all of that information. And then you want to make sure, so you've got your high school GPA in here, you'll want to make sure you add in your college GPA. So if you are a freshman in college this year and you haven't yet completed your Dollars for Scholars profile, you want to make sure you switch this over and say I've got high school and college GPA. Put your college GPA in here as well. Otherwise, when you go to search for scholarships, there's not going to be scholarship opportunities available for you because it's missing that college GPA in there. So then I'm just going to click save and continue. And then also GPA typically will change or may change depending upon how you're doing in school. So you'll want to make sure that you've got that updated to the correct information every single year. Okay, class rank, you can put that information if you want. You don't necessarily have to there. You can see it's just a single star. Another thing I want to talk about is activities. Make sure that you add in, as you're proceeding in your college career, you add in additional organizations that you're in, or high school career as well. So you don't have to just complete this when you're a senior in high school. You can start this as early as a freshman in high school and start adding in these clubs and everything. So once you get to your senior year, all of those are added in already, and then you've just got a running list, and every year you just go in and update it and whatnot. And then any awards that you have received, you can put right here. You can see I don't have any entered in my test student. I would just click add another, and then I would put that information in right there. You'll always want to make sure that you update your employment, and then also make sure in your document section here that you are updating your you've got your transcript in there, and then also your student aid report, the first page of your student aid report. You'll see out here, we've got scholarships that will look at financial data as far as like what your expected family income is from the FAFSA. And so in order to just verify that, we ask that you upload that student aid report to that documents tab, and that information is all listed right here. And then the financial information where you complete that is listed right here. All right, so essay portion of it. So there's going to be 2 different essays. So there's a goals and aspirations essay, and then an unusual circumstance essay. You can utilize and just leave the same essay in there the entire time if you want, whether you're a senior in high school applying for scholarships for your freshman year, or if you're continuing on. I would highly recommend at least taking a look at those every year and updating them or tweaking them, or if things have changed at all, make sure that you update that. Make sure you're writing concisely, use clear grammar, and say something that will help the scholarship committee get to know you. You can find more tips by checking out like I said, showed you earlier, our YouTube channel as well that we visited about. If you have a local chapter, the length of your essay may vary. We don't have a specific length through North Dakota Dollars for Scholars, but your local chapter might have a length. So you would want to check with them to see if there's a minimum or a maximum essay length. And then, all right, let me just make sure I'm not missing anything else here before I move on. Okay, one last thing that I want to just talk about on the financial info. Like I said, some of our scholarships require financial information because they are need-based. So they're based on financial need as well as merit. So that is the reason for putting in that financial information. We want to help to cover any scholarship gap opportunities for students. So we're wanting to make sure that we've got that in there. If you don't want to share your financial information, you don't have to. Just know that there are scholarships that you may not be matched to then, since you aren't sharing that information, and that information won't go anywhere. Nobody will be able to see that. It's just how we're able to make sure that the scholarship that we are awarding is going to scholarship gap students as well. And a gap student is if there's different areas where we found where there's not a ton of scholarship opportunities for students. So we just want to make sure that we're covering that as well. Okay, so once you have completed this information, you'll click on My Scholarships. This is where you'll go to search for scholarships in your student dashboard. And then any additional questions for any specific scholarships that you might be matched to are gonna pop up. You will see I don't have any questions that have popped up because I've already gone through my test student before this year. So some chapters or some scholarships will have special questions that are not asked in like the regular profile. You'll want to just make sure to answer these questions to determine eligibility for additional scholarships, or ask you to complete open-ended questions or references. If those buttons are in red, then you'll need to complete that specific section. This student right here, or this scholarship right here, there's additional questions right here that need to be completed. So I would click on that and it says, please provide your specific major. And I would provide my major, and then that will let me know if I'm able to apply for that scholarship or not. You can see this scholarship, the Grain Growers Scholarship. I can click view. It tells me what the specific scholarship is for. And I'm gonna just click apply. Okay, I'm gonna do my tester son. I'm gonna do my electronic signature. I'm gonna click submit. This is acknowledging that, yes, I understand and I've answered everything to the best of my ability. So now you will see here under scholarship applications ready to complete, I only have one scholarship up here. The scholarship that I just applied for moved down here. You can see I utilized this Stacy McTesterson several times and for the last 3 years. And so any scholarships that I've applied for in the past are all going to be listed here, plus my new scholarships that I've applied for this year as well. All right, so the last thing that I want to leave you with is down in this area. If you've been awarded a specific scholarship, that will be listed down here. And we will notify through North Dakota Dollars for Scholars. Award recipients will be notified typically the end of May, beginning of June. And you'll get an email saying that you've received a scholarship, and this is where you'll go to accept your specific scholarships. If you ever need help, you can click this gray support button in the lower left-hand corner and submit a ticket to get specific help on an area that you're stuck in. Or you can also reach out to me directly. Chapter contact information is right on the Dollars for Scholars website. Here's email address for myself, and then the North Dakota Dollars for Scholars phone number as well is listed right here, if you'd rather just reach out to me directly. All right, so that was just a quick run through of how to create a profile and apply for scholarships. I am going to get back here to the presentation, and we've got 4 minutes left. So we will leave those last 4 minutes for any questions. Does anybody have any specific questions for me at this time? And if so, you can put them in the chat function or in the question function within the live session. Okay, let's see here. I've got one question. Okay. It looks like you can select 6th grade as the lowest grade level. My oldest child is in 3rd grade currently. Should I wait till she reaches 6th grade to even look into the scholarships, or is it still good to start doing this now with her and to just keep updating her level as 6th grade as she is until she actually is? I would say you wouldn't necessarily want to start until you're till high school. So I would say 9th grade, somewhere in there. If you want to start 7th and 8th grade, that's totally fine. But middle school activities, you're not going to want to include those in the scholarship application. But absolutely, you can start the earlier you want. That you certainly can. I would say 7th grade at the earliest. If you want to start an Excel spreadsheet as well, you can do that too. Okay. Will scholarships affect Pell Grant eligibility? Scholarships will not affect Pell Grant eligibility. Can a student receive more than one North Dakota Dollars per scholarship? No, students will only be able to receive one North Dakota Dollars for scholarship. However, there may be several scholarship opportunities through their local chapter if a student has a local Dollars for Scholars chapter. Okay, what is the ideal age to look for a student to begin looking for scholarships? Great question. We always recommend starting around that freshman year of high school to start looking at scholarship opportunities, specifically for North Dakota Dollars for Scholars and just Dollars for Scholars in general. You can start filling out your student profile as a freshman in high school, or you can certainly start doing it in 7th and 8th grade as well. All right, are there scholarships available for grad students or just high school and undergrad students? There are several scholarships available for graduate students through North Dakota Dollars for Scholars. So absolutely, graduate students should be applying through North Dakota Dollars for Scholars as well. There are several different scholarships or major specific scholarships as well. We've got majors specifically going into chiropractic or pre-chiropractic, physician's assistants, nursing. We've got a scholarship specific for NDSU. So lots of different specifics. So it's super important that you fill out your scholarship profile, your student profile to the best of your ability and have it be as accurate as possible. Okay, one last question here. Can you list those websites that you mentioned in the beginning, fastweb.com, etc.? Yes, I will. Let's see here. I am going to go back. I've got them here. We've got, okay, I can't copy and paste into the chat, but I can do, let's see, nddfs.org. I'm going to type these into the chat. Fastweb.org, and then finaid.org, and then the U.S. Department of Labor. That one's going to be www.careeronestop.org/toolkit, and then click on scholarship finder under training. Okay, so I listed all of those websites just in the chat, so I will just give you a minute so you can copy them out of the chat. So again, that's North Dakota Dollars for Scholars, so ndbfs.org, fastweb.com, finaid.org, or www.careeronestop.org/toolkit. Okay, let's see. We've got one last question here. Can you explain more about local chapter? Does Bismarck have a local chapter? Very good question. Yes, Bismarck does have a local chapter. So you can take a look on the North Dakota Dollars for Scholars website under the chapter content or contact, excuse me. You can click on North Dakota chapters. And then I've got a PDF map listed here of all of the chapters in North Dakota. So this lists all the North Dakota chapters. However, you don't have to know this when you fill out your student profile. Any scholarships that you are matched to will be listed right up here. So you can see I was matched to North Dakota Dollars for Scholars in my test students. I was matched to some national scholarships or to a national, the national chapter. And then I was also matched to Fargo Area Dollars for Scholars. Just so happens with my test student, I just matched to North Dakota Dollars for Scholars scholarships. Anything with NDBFS in the front of it, that's how we set up North Dakota Dollars for Scholars. That's going to be a state scholarship. So North Dakota is very unique in that we have got opportunities. We've got a state chapter and then 64 local chapters throughout the state. No other state in America has a state chapter and local chapters. They're all just community local chapters. So you can definitely take a look at this map to see the chapters that there are across the state, but you don't have to worry about applying to specific ones when you're filling out your application. One thing that you do need to look into though and be aware of is local chapters may have their scholarships may be open at different times than the state chapters. So you'll want to reach out to your local chapter and find when those scholarships are open to make sure that you apply before that deadline as well. Okay, well, we are 4 minutes past our time here, so I want to be respectful of everyone's time and say thank you so much for spending some time here with us today. Please don't hesitate to reach out to me directly, and I would be more than happy to answer additional questions. My contact information, of course, is right on that Dollars for Scholars website. You can just reach out to me. Right here we've got the state director email address and then the Dollars for Scholars phone number as well. And if you've got my contact information already, certainly just reach directly out to me. Thank you so much for joining us today. Just want to put a plug in for our next Career Discovery live session. It's going to be next Tuesday, March 9th from 12 to 12:30 p.m. Central Time. This session is titled Health Careers as an Aide. Attendees will learn about the education, duties, pay, and career outlook for careers as a healthcare aide. You can register for this session on the Career Compass website at careercompass.nd.gov. Thanks so much, everyone, and have a wonderful day. Bye.